What's up guys, it's Celeste, and about a month ago I got some comments on some of my other videos that were pretty long and brought up a lot of points and had a few questions, and were just kind of generally like this person's experience and perspective on gender and transition as a non-trans person. Um, and I wanted to reply to them, but since it was so long and since a lot of the things they were talking about were things that I think a lot of cis people and really people in general probably wonder when they first learn about gender and transition and things like that, I decided I was going to do a video response to it instead of just like writing a comment back to that one person. So it took me about a month to get to where I was like in the right like headspace and had enough time to actually like go through all the points that they had and like respond to all of them. And then I spent probably like 2 or 3 days working on the video. Like I did like research and I made graphics and like didn't quite write a script, but I basically like wrote the response to them first and then kind of based my video on that. And then I like actually filmed it and edited it. By the time I edited it, it was still like 24 minutes long. And so it was kind of like this big, huge thing. And I was really proud of like the research that I did and the things that I was saying in it. But by the time I got to that point, I kind of realized that the tone of it was not really the tone that I wanted for that kind of video. I wanted it to be like really educational and really helpful and enlightening and stuff. And because of the tone of the comments that I was replying to, I kind of ended up being a little more defensive, but also a little bit snarky. Even though I was trying really hard not to do that, I was trying to be like kind of just kind of like level, I guess, with my response. But obviously this is stuff that I'm really passionate about and a lot of it that's kind of personal to me, so it was hard for me to respond to some of the things they said without being like, I don't know, a little bit touchy, I guess. So I decided that wasn't really the tone that I wanted to have when I was giving information about stuff, because like I understand that a lot of people just don't know this stuff, and I didn't want it to come across, first of all, like I was being snarky to anybody who didn't know this stuff already. And second of all, I definitely didn't want to attack this person. I think their comments to me were well intentioned and were genuine, and I didn't want to have an angry response or anything like that. And I didn't feel angry at them, but I just felt like the video itself was not really what I wanted it to be. So I kind of decided to just completely scrap it, and I don't even know if that person is still watching my videos. I don't know if they actually subscribed to me or if they just came upon the couple that they commented on and then disappeared. I don't know. But if they are still watching this, I'm sorry that it took me so long to try to respond to you and then not actually do that at this point. But because I spent so long thinking about the answers that I was going to give and researching things and making graphics and things like that, I want to still cover that stuff in the future, and I do plan to. I just think that particular method wasn't the best way, and so I don't know exactly when I'm going to get to all that stuff, but eventually I will. So yeah. But working on that and then feeling kind of like really frustrated and having kind of this like, I don't know, struggle to decide whether I wanted to actually use it or not, brought up, like kind of made me think in general about the fact that I really have trouble finding the right balance with being passionate about things and having my own opinion and being okay sharing my opinion and my feelings and experiences, but not coming across as defensive or angry or whatever. Because pretty much my whole life I have been told that I do that and it's not appreciated, I guess. I don't know whether I agree with all of the criticisms I've gotten on that point, but I definitely used to be very opinionated, very openly opinionated, and in some cases was like just kind of, I don't know, abrasive, I guess, and that wasn't good. But I feel like in an effort to adjust that, I have ended up like way on the other side, where I'm still very opinionated, very passionate, and if you start talking to me about things that I'm very passionate about, like I find it completely impossible to not get really fired up and really like viscerally responsive to it. But in terms of like how hard I work to keep that from happening, and like even in just everyday conversations, how much time and energy I spend trying to be super cautious about the way that I say things and what I say and who I say it to or in front of or whatever. And it's very exhausting. It's very difficult and really kind of not good for me. It's very unhealthy because I don't know, I mean it takes away from me. It takes away from who I actually am. And so I feel like I don't know, like in the last probably mostly like the last 10 years or so, I really feel like I have lost a lot of myself and like lost things about me that I like and that I think are central to my existence and my being. But um, it's easier in terms of relationships that I have with other people um, to like dilute that stuff and try to suppress it basically, which is not healthy. But I mean, I just don't really know how to find a balance with that. And it's really frustrating to me because I so admire people who are able to be just themselves, who are able to just talk about things that they want to talk about and have their opinions and like not be constantly paranoid and like terrified of people getting upset or of them getting upset or conflict in general. And I just don't know how to be that way, but that's how I want to be. I want to be somebody who is able to exist without feeling like I have to compromise myself in order to have people still like me, which is how I feel right now. So I don't really know exactly where this video is going. I guess I just kind of wanted to share that because it's something that is really kind of like kind of wearing on me. And I feel like in the last several years, I have worked really hard and have succeeded in a lot of ways in getting back to myself, because I basically completely lost myself. And I ended up in this like really, really, really bad place. One of the worst depressive episodes of my life, which is quite saying something for me. And my recovery from that has been like the most like successful and like actually productive recovery that I pretty much have ever had. So I've had a lot of positive changes for the last few years. And a lot of that has been about me getting back to myself and not basing my self-image on how other people see me, which is kind of what I did for a long time. And I've done a lot toward letting go of shame that I had about my emotional sensitivity and depth, I guess. I guess that's like, I don't know what else to call it. I'm very I'm a very emotional and sensitive and passionate person, and I always have been, and that's not always been welcome, as I mentioned. And I had, and still have a little bit, but mostly had a lot of shame about that. Basically feeling like there was something deeply wrong with me, and I mean, it basically came from being told that for years and years. I was able to let go of that to a large degree with the help of my therapist, and that was like one of the hugest turning points for me. But it still seems to be there in a lot of ways, and I feel like what I'm doing right now is fighting against that, like what remains of that, in a more public way, I guess, than I did before, because before it was mostly just me and my therapist, and like I didn't directly tell people what I was doing, I guess, and it was a little bit different than right now, which is where I am struggling to actually be able to talk about things with people who have previously made me feel like I shouldn't, and also not with them, but just in general, but them knowing about it and sort of dealing with their criticism of it and trying to discourage me from talking about things and stuff like that. So I feel like I guess I've been kind of re-triggered on this particular issue, and some of the shame that I guess is still there about this. So I don't know, that's kind of where I am right now. So I guess this is just kind of like a video diary or whatever of my current emotional issues. I guess I really, really want to figure out how I can get to a place where I am okay existing as a human being without feeling like other people are the editors of my life. Without feeling like I have to answer to other people. And I'm not talking about like just doing whatever I want, like not caring if it affects anybody. Like I don't want to do that, but right now I feel like a lot of things that are really important to me, in talking about them, I'm having to almost like defend them or try to convince people that that they're real, or that it's okay for me to be like this or something. I know I'm being a little bit vague here, but definitely the gender and sexuality stuff is pretty central to that. I don't know, this is getting kind of rambly, but I'd really like to know if anybody else has dealt with this, if you figured out how to be yourself, be your own independent person without being so beholden to what the people around you want from you. I think this is something that everybody deals with to some degree, and I just don't really know how to get to a place where it doesn't feel like it is this like huge weight on my life. Like right now I feel like I'm not really living my life the way that I really want to, and a lot of that has to do with these feelings of like people around me, like basically holding me back. Like I almost physically feel this like image of me trying to like get somewhere, like trying to like, let's just say like climb a mountain or something, and there are like these hands like just grabbing me, like pulling me back down, like trying to keep me from going where I want to go, where I feel like I should be going. It's like I feel like I can't actually live up to my potential, because the other people around me don't want that to be my potential. They want something else to be my potential. And I don't know, like I said, this is something I think everybody feels to some degree, and so any tips on this topic I would be super into hearing about, because this is like really important to me right now, and I feel like in a lot of ways it's kind of eating into my ability to make videos the way that I want to make them, because there's a lot of stuff that I just don't really know how to talk about in a like in an arena, I guess, that so many different people in my life, like so many different kinds of people in my life are viewing, or at least have the ability to view. I feel like it's hard for me to speak to so many different audiences with like a single voice, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. Any tips on this? I would definitely appreciate it like a lot. So yeah, I guess that about does it for this video. But I have a couple other videos that I am working on, sort of, have in the works, that hopefully I'll be able to do soon, because I really want to put more content up here and not just make videos about me rambling about issues that I have. So yeah, so I will see you guys next time.